I was sent a joke email from my boss at the time, and yeah, within 2 weeks, that was it.
Jade, Morris, thank you for coming down. This is the Dubai Life podcast. So we always like to start with how people first, came across Dubai and how you first made the move out to you.
Hi, Liam. Good to see you as always. Thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure.
It's very nice to see you. Okay, so we're just going straight in. How did I hear about Dubai? 2012, I was sent a joke email from my boss at the time, and it was an advert for Dubai, saying on the advert, do you want to earn £250,000 a year tax-free? And he sent me it purely as a joke, and the title read, can you imagine never drinking or wearing a bikini again? Anyway, at the time, I was really looking to transition from the location that I was based in to potentially central London or something with, more money, better opportunities. And so I was in touch with a recruiter. So I went into the back, called this recruiter and said, have you heard of Dubai? He said, yeah, of course, but there's no basic salary. And I was like, oh, okay. So he was like, so if you don't sell a house, you're coming home.
So were you doing real estate?
Lettings.
Lettings, okay.
Yeah. So I was a lettings negotiator. And honestly, at the time, I was in a huge amount of debt.
Really?
I was 21, not student debt, loans from the bank, and just I hated England. Like, just put it that way. I just really didn't enjoy it at all. I was 21 years old. So I typed into Google Dubai, Burj Al Arab pops up, Burj Khalifa. I'm like, wow, what is this place? And within 2 weeks, that was it. The only thing I owned outright was my car that I had paid off with the loan that Nationwide had given me.
Okay.
And that was it. I was on a flight.
Wow.
I told my friends, I told my friends and family that I was going to a company called Smith & Ken that you obviously worked for. So I said, yeah, I'm going to this big company because they had a presence, so I could at least show like the mini cars that were branded. I could show something. But in reality, I was too nervous to do their Zoom meeting. They wanted like a video.
Yeah, Skype.
Probably wasn't Zoom at the time. Yeah, Skype. And I was too nervous to do it. So I put my CV out, and this random guy calls me. And he says, you've applied for a job in Dubai. So we start speaking for like an hour. He said, okay, I'll call you back tomorrow. The next day he calls me back and says, you're accepted. I'll give you 3 months accommodation, 3 months car hire. And yeah, we've started a new company. It's called Triangle Real Estate. And there was nothing online. There was nothing that existed at all. I just thought, what's the worst going to happen? So, I jumped on the plane, and that was my journey within 2 weeks.
Really?
Of literally finding out the name Dubai. Within 2 weeks, I was here.
Do you have any friends here or no insights into what it was like?
And I was just like,
completely on your own.
Just completely on my own.
Unbelievable.
With all my trust in this gentleman that,
My God, that's crazy.
Had this company.
One of the craziest stories, actually.
Oh, thanks. I'm crazy, Liam.
Yeah, true. We know that. Wow, 2 week Triangle Real Estate. Obviously, that didn't. You're not at Triangle Real Estate anymore. What happened?
Literally within landing, but the day I landed, he took me to. He said, I've got accommodation for 3 weeks or 3 months. I can't remember exactly. Maybe 3 months. Set up for you and a car hire. So I landed, and I ended up in this really random villa in Al Barsha. And I remember that it was like all gravel all over the floor, and it was quite late. And I was thinking, it's a bit like shady.
Yeah.
But anyway, I arrived, go upstairs. There's a room. He's nowhere to be seen. I don't know where this man is, but this lady lets me in. She's like, yeah, you're here.
On the right place.
Takes me upstairs. There's like sweets and water and stuff outside. And it was late. The flight was delayed. And he had messaged me and said, when you wake up in the morning, just let me know, we'll start. I didn't sleep till probably about 4 o'clock in the morning. And by 7 o'clock, I was suited, calling him like, let's go. Where are you? I didn't realize at the time he was actually living in the outhouse. In the outhouse of this villa. So anyway, he takes us to this office in Al Barsha. Takes me to this office in Al Barsha. And there's one other lady that works there. A lady called Isabella, who's still my friend till today. She's back in England, but she's in real estate.
Yeah.
And I arrived and she said, oh, wow, there's someone else here. She had been there for like 5 weeks.
Just on her own?
Yeah. And she said, there's
no admin.
There's no admin. There's no support. There's no So she was telling me loads of negative things, but I was like, no, I'm not going to listen to any of this. And I'm just going to be completely tunnel visioned and I'm going to continue. So I tell him, like, how can I get out? He's like, right. He takes me outside to this dirt track, like it's outside of this building in Al Barsha. And he says, right, gives me a small gold Kia Picanto. Do you remember them? The gold ones, like tiny ones. So he gives me this small car and I'm like, all right, I'm on Checkside Road for like 20 minutes. I don't care anymore. I was like, oh, I'm learning to drive. I'm on the road here. I could already drive, but here. Yeah, so I started calling. He gave me this data, which I now realized a few years later was actually from a big company that he had been an agent at, that he had left, taken their data and just basically tried to start his own company. So I'm calling, I'm taking on listings in downtown, Arabian Ranches, everywhere that was around at that time. I was having a listing. And then I would come back to the office and he would say, right, open a private Dibizzle account as the owner. So I was opening as the landlord and listing as the landlord units because he didn't have Property Finder. That was the only portal really at the time. So I thought it's like, fine. I'm really good at this. I was like hours, like 10 hours a day in the office calling, taking all these listings. And then this lady ended up having a massive fight with him and she left and she was like, Jade, I'm going to go to Better Homes, like come with me. I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm here. The next day he calls me and he says, you need to get accommodation. I said, but I've only been here for like 5 days, a week. And he said, no, we just need to move you. So he takes me to this room, this apartment in Al Barsha near the office. And I could see, it was a Friday, so it was a day off when the weekend was Friday. And I could see a building like within spitting distance of this building that was under construction. And I said, surely that's going to be, the landlord said, no. No one is working on that construction site. There is no workers here. It's fine. So I said, I'm really not sure who else lives here. They said, no, just one other man in the other room. It was like a 2-bed apartment. So they basically pushed me into it. I said, okay. And then the guy said, you pay and I'll pay you back later. So I was literally, my money was going. The car company started calling me to pay.
No way.
So I paid this rent and this deposit. And then I came back that night from work to start moving in. And there were like 8 men in the kitchen. And I was like, hey, hi.
Yeah.
And they were like, hi.
Who are you?
And I was like, are you friends who actually live here? They were like, we all live here.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so that's how it all began.
Wow.
And within 3 weeks, he came to me and said, here's your passport. We're closing this company.
Yeah.
I said, wow. So I've about got enough money I have enough money probably to get a flight home.
Yeah.
And he said, no, come with me. I want you to meet the people that I'm going to basically go and work for. So he ended up becoming my colleague and sat next to me.
Got it. Okay. So you actually got on with him, really? He was trying, I guess.
No. I just was desperate. I didn't know anyone else.
Yeah. Fair enough. Wow. What a start.
Yeah.
And when you were calling these owners and getting listings, how did you know what to say? I guess from lettings back in the UK.
Yeah. So obviously from back in from England, you have, you know what to say. You know the questions that you need to ask. I did keep saying, what's your address? And he was like, stop saying the word address. It's not address.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. But in general, yeah, I kind of just got on with it myself. He didn't teach me anything at all. And I was just kind of like relentless to, not give up, just keep calling.
Yeah.
And it paid off.
There we are. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. To move here without having, in 2 weeks, with having no friends, no insight. When did you move? What month was it?
January.
Okay, so it was actually
2014.
The weather was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. And then first deals, what did they look like?
So I arrived at the next company I was going to work for.
Yeah.
And they said, how many listings do you have? I said, about 18. Mm-hmm. But I knew that I wanted to kind of be like, speciality wasn't a thing then so much. Like back in the day, that being specialized wasn't really like a massive thing, but I knew that I wanted to work in Arabian Ranches.
Why Arabian Ranches?
Just liked it. And I just thought the area is very nice. Every time I went there, I felt like passionate about it.
Okay.
So anyway, I put all my listings on and was calling. And this guy was so smart. He sat next to me and he said, as you're new, every sales listing you get, just give to me. And then you keep the rentals. So naive me was like, yeah, sure, no problem at all, and just giving over all these sales.
That's like the opposite of the Jade I know now.
Yeah, of course. It builds you up.
Yeah.
You learn the hard way. So there was one property in Alma, and the PA said to me, this is for rental and sale. So I sent down the listing sheet to the admin saying this is for rental and sale, and filled in with the prices and filled in the sheet with the same stuff. I didn't realize that sale had been listed under my name. So I'm in the office 6 hours later, and get this call, and I'm like, hi, and he's like, yeah, this property for sale. And I'm like, what property? So I'm like looking through the CRM, and I said, okay, yeah. And he's like, can you show me now? I'm 20 minutes. And I was like, yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
I arrived at the villa. There was another agent at the villa, okay, that I randomly actually had met because he had come to my office and he knew my boss at the time. So I walked in and I was like, hey, nice to see you. And he realized that and I was very innocent. I had no idea. Yeah. So, you learn to be tough through these kind of situations. And I said to him, the buyer said, I'm buying this house. And I said in front of the buyer, this guy was in shorts and a t-shirt, and there's me like in a suit, like all ready to go. And the guy turned around to me and said, if you can tell me what that project under construction is behind us and what an accord means, I'll share this deal with you. In front of the buyer, Liam.
No way.
Yeah. So obviously I had no idea. So I said, oh, okay, no worries. And I left. I go downstairs, I get into the car, call my boss, said, this is the situation, and it's your friend. It's like...
Because he'd been into the office.
Yeah. So he said, okay, drive away. This agent came down, sat on the bonnet of my car whilst he's speaking. Oh, really, like, just crazy, rude. Sat on the bonnet of the car, started speaking to the buyer. The buyer's looking at me through the window, obviously feels bad. So I beep him off, and I turn around, I drive away. I called the buyer, I said, hi, I know that you're the buyer of this house. I'll be very honest. I started like 3 weeks ago. Yeah. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I will take you to my office and we will sell you this property, and I'll give you 0.5% discount.
Nice.
And he said, I'll follow you now. We went, we signed the deal. We finished the deal, we closed it. And the next day he took the agent out again to view more properties so he didn't look like he'd bought it. Oh, wow. We ended up, Liam, in land department. Do you remember when all the transfers were in Dubai land department? So on the day of transfer, the buyer comes and we're talking and about to transfer, and the seller comes and the agent is there transferring another deal. He comes over, he says, Jade, shake his hand. And then he turns to the buyer and says, Judas.
Judas. Oh my God.
I was like, right, okay, no. Brilliant. So that was my first ever deal.
Your first deal. How long did it take you to get that deal?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Oh, that was my first sale, but I'd already closed 2 rentals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I closed my first rental within 4 days of joining the company. Amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I guess you just focused on Arabian Ranches from that point.
Yeah, basically everything was ranches, yeah.
Wow.
Ranches one.
You seem to learn quite quick, because I would imagine after that situation, it didn't really happen again, where you...
Look, yeah, you know how the market is so cutthroat, Liam, and to be a good agent, like it's relentless.
Yeah.
Like you get cheated or something happens and it builds you and makes you stronger and stronger and stronger. I would say I'm much more soft now than I have been. Like now I'm like,
yeah,
like,
I guess you
mellow. You get, with age, you start to, you can almost see something is going to happen even before it happens, rather than being in the thick of it and being like, I'm reacting so fast. And now I'm just, if it's meant to be, it will be.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, but I guess now it doesn't affect you as much as it did back then. It really mattered because you need to pay rent and eat and live here. Whereas now it's like, okay, this is not going to affect my lifestyle. I want to do the deal and help out with the situation, but it's not going to affect me personally.
So yeah.
And now you've got everyone else doing deals as well. Crazy story.
Crazy old journey.
It is crazy.